Well, we're live after one or two little technical whatever. Welcome to the Medium channel. Welcome to Tarot Time. Thank you everybody for being here and spending part of your Sunday morning with me, with us, with this community. And if you're watching this as a video, basically the rundown is that we do a meditation card. We do a 3 card spread that may be a personal reading for you. It may be more of a messenger reading for this community, or may tap into global events. And then we also have the other divination tools that we use. And you have Sunday morning tarot times kind of become a bit of a community hangout here, which is great. I love it. So a lot of people are interacting in the chat messages and asking questions, and that's fine. So people generally, the live people generally take about 2 to 3 minutes to get their notification to get on. So while we're doing that, I'll just say a few quick hellos. And if you're new, if you haven't joined us before and you wish to introduce yourself, by all means, let us know who you are, where in this big wide world you are coming from. And another reason that I was a little bit late is that Spear was giving me messages. I did a couple of them, and I wanted to write them down quickly. Otherwise, I'll forget them. So anyway, do I need my glasses? Actually, I've got my computer back at a distance. I think I'm better off without them now. So Suzanne and Claire and MT and welcome Teresa and Jody and Michael and Wendy. Hello. Happy Sunday morning to you as well. Hi, Doreen, Judy, and Kimberly, and Chris. And I think that's it so far. If I miss anybody, I apologize. But I see people are slowly coming on. People are slowly, you know, here. So a little, bit of astrology, because there's a lot that's shifting. And I don't know about you guys, and if you want to, confirm or deny or whatever. But I know for myself, today's been better. Thank goodness. I feel like I'm in a good mood. I feel like my energy is really flowing the way it's supposed to now. I'll tell you, Thursday, especially Friday and Saturday, these were energetically tough days. And I don't know if you guys have experienced that or not. It just felt like there's a lot of this pressure from the world, maybe it's the subconscious or the mass programming, or maybe it's the astrology. Mars just went direct. What day? Thursday did it go direct? I mean, the exact moment it goes direct, it isn't that important, because what happened is the planet slowed down. And then they station for a while. So Mars is still in its station, even though technically it's in forward motion. Then another interesting thing is that Mercury is about to go direct on the 18th. So Mercury's about, today's the 15th. So Mercury's stationing right now. And the reason I'm gazing up is I just noticed on the mountains that there was low clouds and fog, and right now, like the trees are glazed. It's like the tops of the mountains are white. It's really beautiful and amazing. Okay, and what else? I'm sorry, I get sidetracked very easily on a Sunday morning. So we have that. Then we have Uranus will go direct on the 22nd. Then we've got 3 months of no planets in retrograde. So this is going to be a time to really, the next week or two, really go within, go in the heart, go within, and ask Spirit to assist you in guiding you into your next moves, and maybe write your goals down, because when all the planets are moving forward, it becomes more of a progressive time. And as I've been saying, in my 2023 forecast, what year is this, Adam? 2023 forecast, as well as my January forecast and all this other stuff, that January is going to get off to a slow start, but it's going to pick up steam. So we're kind of in that phase now. And another interesting footnote that I don't see people talking a lot about is right now that we're as close to the sun as we will get for the entire year. So the Earth's distance from the sun ranges from about 92 million miles to 93 million miles. So in mid-July is when we're the farthest away from the sun. So why does this have a bearing? Because the sun's energy is stronger. It's closer to the Earth. Even though those of us in the north, like myself, we still have these very long nights and short days, and the sun is still basically straddling the horizon. So the sun strength from that perspective isn't that strong, but there's these particles called neutrinos. Like, you don't even have to be out in the sun to receive like light codes from the sun. And there's also I don't know if it's the gamma rays, but there's also wavelengths that go through solid matter. And a single neutrino can penetrate your entire body without touching a single atomic nuclei. So that's how small they are, and how much empty space we have in our bodies also. And these affect us. So the solar strength is actually at a peak, which ironically is sort of the opposite of the warming effect of the sun. And this has a bearing also. So the sun's energy is very healing, it's very uplifting and everything. So a couple of messages. Oh God, there's so much going through my mind right now. Anyway, let me just say quick hello. So what are you guys saying here? Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So some people are validating. Oh, sorry, MT, about your aunt's passing. I hope it's okay to do this in public. Well, best of fortune to your family and everything. Welcome is uh, welcome. Oh my God, forgive me, Jared. Forgive me. My Sunday morning is my Friday after a long day, and it's like it's always the same thing. It's like Sunday morning, I'm toasted from my week, and here I am doing tarot time. But anyway, we're having a good time, right? So good morning, everybody. Welcome. And what are we saying here? Is gamma, and the healing wavelength theta was. Yes, indeed. So it's stronger now. So one of the other things is the sun's actually shining today. I haven't seen the sun for weeks. So when I'm done with all this stuff, I'm gonna go out in the sun and absorb some of that on my face also. 11:11. Very good. Thank you, Judy, for helping me keep time or telling me what time it is. So where to start? So much is going on. So a little bit about the astrology. So that's good. We're coming up to the Aquarius new moon on Friday, is it, or Saturday? God, I think it's on Friday. And so we're really hitting Aquarius season. Like hitting the ground running into Aquarius season. And not immediately, but in a little while, Pluto's going to touch into Aquarius for a minute before backing back into Capricorn. So we'll get a little taste of what life's going to look like after 2024, when Pluto spent its 25 years, however long it's going to spend in the sign Aquarius. It's been quite a transit through Capricorn, I must say. This is going to be explosive but really amazing at the same time. So anyway, I had this dream, so I wanted to write these messages down, which is another reason I was a few minutes late. And I was talking to some ascended master, like in white robes, and I was in these halls. It felt like Atlantis. And then I even posted this song on my stories on Instagram called "Eternity Row" by the Moody Blues, a Ray Thomas song for Moody Blues fans. From To My children's children, about basically a time and space traveler. Although it has like all of the Moody Blues albums, it has different layers of meanings. But anyways, the line from that is, traveling eternity road, what do you hope to find there? Carrying your heavy load, hoping to find your peace of mind. And then the message that came through when I was awake was that you've done this before. This is for all of us. You've traveled this road before. And until you shift more into your spirit consciousness and make different choices, you're going to travel the same road again, basically. And they were saying that until we really become present and really become it in our heart, we're basically going to respond emotionally. We're going to feel the same emotions when the same situation comes up again, and have the same thoughts. And our emotions and our thoughts basically dictate our actions, and then we wind up taking the same actions. But if we're present and we're in the heart, then we can see these things that are going on in our lives, these patterns, from a spiritual perspective. And then we don't have to be triggered by our emotion. Like, in other words, we'll still feel things, but we don't have to act on it. We can observe our emotion. We talk about that a lot on this channel, by the way, for the new people, about how to be the observers rather than, rather than the victim of your own emotions and your own patterns, basically. So what did I write down? You'll make the same choices and then you'll be destined to repeat it. Then the other thing, they're really talking about sound vibrations and the four, what is it, 432 and 528, the solfeggio frequencies that most of music was based on. And then apparently they started using other frequencies in modern music that tend to bring out more the aggressive side of people and stuff like that. But that's a whole other story. But sound vibration, extremely important. They were saying, to emphasize this point, that everything makes a sound. Everything has a note, a tone, a cadence, a rhythm, and a frequency that's expressed through sound frequency. Most of it's inaudible to the human ear, but the sonics or the waves still affect us. And then you're working with the master teachers. They're saying, some people use their singing bowls, some people use tuning forks, but when they channel through me, they use my voice. And I really would love to, if anybody knows how to measure frequencies, I'd really love to test these. What's coming through when I'm doing like the light language and the toning, to see if it's one of these master frequencies, or just 432 or 528. It would be interesting to see that. I would love to know, but I'll tell you, they're teaching me how to sing, and I've been making sounds from my vocal cords I didn't even know vocal cords can make, but that's all spirit and the master teacher. So there's a couple of other things, but that's really kind of what's on my mind right now. And the other thing is from the 10th. Okay. A lot has come up in the news, right? Things that we've talked about already, and of course there's been three passings of note. I mean, more than that. But there was Lisa Marie Wright Presley, and then before that there's Jeff Beck and God, what's his name? A little bit lesser known, but the drummer for Bachman Turner Overdrive, one of the Bachman brothers, I guess, passed on also. So we had a few significant passings, but interestingly, we're seeing a little bit of snippets of news about we'll just say a certain medication for a specific virus that began in 2019, or 2020 technically. A little bit of information about maybe there are side effects that that are specifically they're investigating strokes from vaccination. I guess I'm allowed to say that. I've said it before, and I haven't got my videos taken down. And there's a few other things. I don't remember the details, but there's been things coming out in the news. News around President Biden, right? Also, so there's these things that are starting to leak, as we said it was going to happen, and that's going to pick up some steam. And certainly, like, investigating, the vaccine safety is done by the vaccine companies. So, of course, expect cover-ups or diminishing or whatever. But the really interesting thing is, and if any of you guys are watching, that they were telling me that I'm a right-wing conspiracy theorist. I must be a Trump supporter. By the way, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I must be, because I'm talking about these things about, possible dangerous side effects from vaccine, to me called the conspiracy theorist, like so many other people. But now the companies that made the vaccines are investigating these very same things that would have gotten videos taken down just 6 or 8 months ago, and would have gotten you ostracized by your friends, defriended by people, and called names like you're a conspiracy theorist. So keep an open mind and keep an open heart, and don't judge. And then you'll start to be able to assimilate the truth, because it's out there, it's palpable. And when you shift out of programming and you're out of judgment and you're just in your heart, you're in spirit, you're feeling the vibrations through your body, you feel what's going on, and you have an inner knowing, basically. And that's basically where I come from. I'm not really you're reading about so much the left wing perspective, the right wing perspective, because I believe that they're two parts of the same whole, and I really believe that a lot of the fear based stuff, even from those that have been, more spiritual people that want to help us, you're warning us of possible food shortages. I mean, that is a reality, by the way, but when it becomes so fear based, that then anything fear based gets us out of our spirit and makes us much more programmable, because when you're in fear, you're this is a redundancy, but you're more you're more subject to programming. Anyway, I think we get the idea of that. So, and Yvonne saying that the truth can't be held back anymore. Yeah, it's going to keep coming out. Yes, and um to measure the that'd be interesting. Thank you. Yeah, so if you ever tune into one of my channelings, I'm doing the toning, and it's able to make the frequencies. You definitely let me know. And oh, I'm sorry. So MT saying my dad made my brother's phone go off with a lucid tone he never heard at the moment. My dad died a day after. Nobody answered the phone. The phone rang once, and stopped, and his voice came out of the phone, basically. So spirits can do that, and everything. All right. So let's do a meditation card. Let me move all my stuff here from my coffee table. Sometimes I point out the likelihood that I was Japanese in the past lifetime, because I'm sitting on the floor cross-legged. My table is basically like a floor table that I'm using, and that's how I feel comfortable. I mean, I do have a few chairs for guests, and a full size, the right height table, but I rarely use it for myself. Anyways, cool. All right, so meditating with tarot, the way that I recommend for the newcomers, is that like any other meditation, the first order of business: get present, get relaxed, be in your breath, be in your breathing, think of nothing, be aware of everything, and that's then you're present, and from there the heart starts to activate, and then you start to connect with higher frequencies. So do that, and I'll flash a couple of comments in a second. You guys are saying some interesting things, like Doreen of Children's School of Yoga, talking about the athletes that have been falling also, and and there have been just these things going on, and you may notice this in your circles also, people just suddenly dying for no apparent reason, and a few people that are very instrumental in the nuts and bolts of what goes on in the global economy and movement and stuff like that are just dying, basically. So very interesting times, very, very interesting. Yeah, for us, stay in your heart, stay in your center, stay in your power. Know that spirit is guiding us and watching us. We're going to be okay. As I've been saying all along for the last couple of years, we may, I used to be able to speak English. We may be, oh God, all right. Ground, Adam, ground, center. Do I have my, oh good, I do have my, my grounding stone here for those that like black tourmaline. All right. Well, that thought just went in one side of my brain and out the other. Let's do a meditation card. Maybe I don't need the glasses, even if they make me look smarter. I don't think I need them. God, I'm just getting these funny things popping up in my head as I'm doing this. All right. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I'm doing a micro fast today, so I haven't eaten yet. Probably won't eat till the evening. Sometimes I do that on Sundays. All right, so meditation card. So get nice and relaxed. And once you're there, you just kind of visualize the image of the card. You can use my Hanson Roberts deck, or if you have tarot cards, you can use the same card in your own deck. And in your mind, you step through the doorway of that card, and or the window of that card, and then you go into the scene. So let me just clear my mind. So spirit guides me to the right place. This one. This is the one. Okay. Interesting. We may have had him before, or we had a court card last week. I don't know if it was the King of Pentacles. The court cards in this case would be one or more of your spirit guides. I mean, it can mean something else, but one or more of your spirit guides. Um, and so when you step through the card, through the doorway of the card, the idea is the first thing is, what do you feel? Because it's really like stepping into one reality into another. Like my son Odin, who's 23 now, and he's about 4 or 5. He had this amazing fascination with doors, and he would just stand in front of the doors. He'd open them and close them, and open them and close them, and then sometimes he'd walk through. Really, what happened when, think about it, when you open a door, you step into one reality into another reality. Like if I'm outside and I step inside, I'm in one energy field, I step into another energy field, from one room to another. And same thing with this. So when you step into the card in your consciousness and mind, gauge what you feel. That's the first linking to energy and spirit. It's what are you feeling? Our emotions are not just here to navigate our physical life, but they can be gauges of energy also, especially when you learn how to clear or balance, no, clear the personal emotions, the reactive emotions to the environment, and really getting into your heart emotion and your heart frequency. Once you can be that grounded and that neutral, and shunya, or the 0 point, then what you feel is the energy you're picking up on. So you have to be out of that personal mind, out of that personal emotions for this to work. That's why we get present when we meditate. Makes sense, right? So do that, step into the card, and then feel, and then what are you seeing? What are you smelling? And maybe this figure is one of your guides, and ask for messages. So they're saying to do this week. Let me hold this a little closer. Autofocus is working today. Yay. Um, all right. So that's that. So let me just I'll hold this out for a second. So you guys get the idea. I just want, do I need it? Yeah. Because I bring my face. So what was Chris saying? They're trying to spin all the sudden deaths to adult sudden death syndrome. Adult sudden death syndrome. What does that even mean? It means an adult suddenly died. Okay, very good. Uh, Love Black Tourmaline, Michael's saying, safe travels. I'm late. That's okay. It sounds very interesting what you're doing. Incidentally, at three o'clock Eastern time on Lily Nova Starseed channel, she's doing a Ganesh activation, and I work with Ganesh a lot, so I'm going to try to get there. If I can take a break, at 3, I'll be there with you guys. So what did you say? Oh, this is Spirit Mind Family is our Patreon group, and um we do channeling, more I don't want to say more advanced, but deeper channeling with the master teacher and other things. So last Wednesday we did a 111 channeling with the master teachers. Last Wednesday, Pauline. It's up on Patreon, so you can still do it. And Doreen is going to be here, I believe, the last Sunday of the month to do her yoga. That's Children's School of Yoga, so give her a shout out. And also, we'll, like always, give Armand Diaz a shout out. If you want to dive deep into the astrology, the week and astrological aspects, he does that. He does it on Saturdays, but I never watch him until I'm done, because I don't want to know what anybody else is saying. I just want to be completely. What time, Ganesh, today? 3 p.m., but it's on Lily Nova Starseed channel, not on the Medium channel. um, All right, so let's do a 3-card spread. We're talking more about sound vibration and talking about physiology and how different sound frequencies actually affect your physiology, and then the rays of the sun, the neutrinos also affect affect just everything that's happening in the planet. And for some reason I'm thinking of Dr. McCoy from Star Trek when I'm talking about this stuff about neutrinos and the sun and all that. And I just feel like saying, damn it, Jim, I'm a medium, not an astrophysicist. I had to. Let's keep our sense of humor. Okay. Pauline, you just keyword Lily Nova Starseed on YouTube. You'll get it. But if I remember when I do the comments, I'll put a link up there for her, for you and for Lily, both, and then anybody else that wants to join. And she does excellent work with her singing bowls and her guided meditations. Right. So this is our 3-card spread for the day. Okay. For the week. Well, the day, the week, like I was saying earlier, maybe locally, like we may pick up on things specifically for you, maybe more community, or maybe more globally. And I, of course, will use my intuition. Oh, somebody just joined Patreon. Well, thank you, Lisa, for joining just now. So we have one more member in our inner community now. By the way, it's only $5. Just to put that out there, not to plug my own stuff, but for $5 you get probably anywhere from like $75 to $100 worth of. They're saying don't even put a dollar value on it. Yeah, everybody that joins, you get a lot there. A lot of tutorials, a lot of things we don't cover on the Medium channel, and we thank you for your donation, because everything that I get from Patreon goes into creating spiritual educational material like what we do here on the Medium channel for free. All right. Now, clearing my mind. This one. Oh, no. This one. Yes. Okay. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do talk to myself sometimes. Anybody that's asking if I'm stark raving mad, well, yes, I am. So you're in good company, that means. All right. Okay, totally overthinking this. I should, you know what I need to do to have I found the 3rd card finally, and actually a couple of cards fell out. So we're gonna look at a bunch of cards, because cards that fall out mean something to me also. All right, but the 3 main cards that we pulled. Okay, so the 7 of rods or 7 of wands, 6 of wands or 6 of rods. Wands and rods are fire. That's action. That's energy. 4 of pentacles. Pentacles is earth. Pentacles is material. Your wealth, health, home, family, all that kind of good stuff that's on a medium. Lisa Mendel. I don't know if you're the one that just joined Spirit Mind family, but if you are the Lisa, thank you for that. And yeah. I may do a video on that, because somebody else was asking about learning automatic writing, and these are 2 techniques that I actually use: light language, automatic writing. It's all from spirit. And my best advice, anybody that wants to channel, work with your meditation, work with your breathing, work on any shadow aspects. I mean, some people, it may not be a bad idea to get either therapy, coaching, or counseling. Because when you start to open up to these energies, any suppressed traumas really get louder. I'll put it that way. I mean, I've always been kind of an on the job training kind of guy. Throw me out in the fire, I'll figure out how to get out of it or whatever. But that's me. I think you guys can find an easier way of doing things, to be quite honest. I don't know if it's from being a Libra or what the heck that's about, but it's kind of like sort of the way I operate. It's like, all right, well, let me do this, let me experience it and I'll figure it out, basically. But it's good to have a little foreknowledge too, anyhow, especially when we're talking about channeling and working with these higher frequencies. So that'd be, my best advice to start. Develop your meditation. And again, if you have like emotional issues or challenges or psychological challenges, more people in this world do than don't. So it's not a big deal. I mean, I do, personally, and I'm step by step working through it and healing, and my body's healing also, which is amazing. Funny how that is. When we heal our mind and emotions, our bodies heal. Imagine that. Funny how doctors don't say that too much, although my doctor does, but that's because I have a good doctor. Anyways, yeah, anybody that's coming in late, yeah, that this will replay. So, okay, let me look into the cards for a second. Firstly, I know this is the last card, but this is what's drawing to my attention. Don't my feeling with this is, don't hold on. This is, these wands are very progressive, and then we kind of reach this point where it's like, oh my God, it's like I gotta hold on to something, I can't let go, basically. It shows that in our lives, we're aware of the challenges, and we're meeting them, basically. And this figure's kind of got the got the one rod or wand and is holding up the other one, but the figure's above them. It's also 7, and 7 is Neptune ruled, and it's watery, but it's also the wand, which is fiery. So somebody's moving. I don't know who's moving, like either now or February 1st, but somebody here's moving. I feel like somebody else is having some kind of a romantic interest with somebody, with a male figure. So it's either for a female or a gay male, but they're not speaking up. Yeah, they're kind of not speaking up about it. And they're just saying, to whoever this is for, this may be somebody live or somebody that watches into the videos. Like, you got to let them know what you feel about them, because somebody else is interested in the same person. Somebody a little bit older than you with darker hair. So I don't know who that's for, but that just popped up in my mind when I was talking. And I think somebody else is getting ready for vacations. I'm seeing like Florida, the sun, stuff like that as well. I feel like also they're saying something about, not to, like, if there's something that you need, don't buy it or get it. Don't weigh. It's okay to go off your budget a little bit. There's something that somebody needs. I think somebody's also looking at maybe buying a car, I want to say, and I want to say to do it. We have to not be in a fear-based mentality when it comes to money. And I was talking about the frequencies earlier. I don't know if I finished that point, but they use frequencies because the powers that be understand sonics is very powerful. More and more we're finding we can heal with sound, and that's why the Vedics were always chanting, always doing mantras. Sound vibrations very powerful. That's why sometimes like when I get my back injuries, I go to the chiropractor and get ultrasound, because that accentuates and accelerates my own ability to heal myself just from sound vibration, just from sound frequency. So really, work more with that. The 528 and the 432 are very powerful and important. And I have to look more into this, because I've done some research, and it's really fascinating, like how these came into music and what they do. And I think it's the 528 is the frequency of the sun. It's all really, really fascinating stuff. And we were talking about how the sun is closest to the earth right now, but the average distance from the earth of the sun is 108 times the diameter of the sun. That's the average distance from the earth and the sun. And when you look back at the ancient Vedics that became the Hindus, where we get a lot of our yoga and a lot of our Indian philosophy from, somehow they knew this. And also the Tibetan, because, what are the mala beads? They have 108 beads on them, and you do your mantras 108 times. So that's linking to sacred numerology. 108 is 9. 9 is Mars ruled. 9 is a very powerful number, and it's the pinnacle of the whole 369. I'll call it a stellium, but I'm kind of using that word out of context. But think Nicholas Tesla and 369 code, and how if you can tap into that code, you can move mountains in this physical universe. There's a way of tapping into it, and it comes through meditation and working with that. And let's see, 528. What's 528 in numerology? It's a 6. Imagine that. 5 plus 2 plus 8. 432 is a 9. Wow, imagine that. Coincidence? I think not. Okay. Sound and sound of own voice most powerful is harmonic. And Yogi Bhajan, who who's the bringer of Kundalini yoga. I'm kind of making faces because I know a lot of people know some of the backstory of him, and it wasn't all of love and light apparently. But whatever the case, he channeled Ram Dass with one S, not Ram Dass with two S's that passed on recently, and bought Kundalini yoga basically for these times. So reason I bring him up is one of his teachings, which isn't his teaching. A lot of people have said this, is that the most healing sound in the universe is the sound of your own voice singing or chanting. And again, we want to be in tune. It's like everybody can carry a tune. Everybody can sing, as long, unless your physical vocal cords are damaged, obviously. And but we're programmed to believe that we can't, and people often get nervous when they sing, and then they're not able to. But the idea is sing and chant. Sometimes I do it in public, although sometimes when I'm doing like shamanic ceremonies or whatever, I'll drum and I'll sing and stuff like that, and I'll just people will watch and they'll like it, and I'll just say, well, the good news is that you're not paying any money for this, because I'm not a professional singer. I'm not a bad drummer, but I'm definitely not professional quality when it comes to drumming either. But what is it doing? It's getting me in rhythm. It's getting my voice. It's helping my throat chakra. It's helping me to express myself. It's helping me to get out of my inhibition, out of my self-consciousness, basically, by doing this and not caring if I'm good or not, basically. That's hugely empowering. For me, it's hugely empowering. So back to cards, although this is all part of the card. The Six of Rods is often the victory card. I think there's hopeful news for those of us that are really hoping that more of the nefarious agendas start to come out in the mainstream news, where people can actually see it or whatever. And we talked about a few things in the beginning. Sticking up for yourself, for some of you, it's paying some really good dividends. I feel like somebody's really stuck up for themselves. I want to say with their husband or partner. So again, this would be for another female or a gay male. And it was very empowering for you, speaking up and speaking your truth, and it went well, or went better, I want to say. So if anybody takes any of these messages, you're definitely allowed to let me know on the chats. Normal is, I have to post this one. I love this. Yeah. That about sums it up, right? All right, and there's this. And very good job, Lisa. Very good. Good for you. Yes. Okie dokie. So let me see what else is happening here. A lot of action, a lot of movement. But again, this Four of Pentacles is saying be grounded, to be in your root also. And a lot of times, and we're all we're all socially conditioned, and I kind of get a chuckle when people say, I'm not programmed. I've computed all my programming. Well, the way you interpret words is a program. The way you interpret the word epiphany, or the way you interpret the word challenging, has been programmed into you. Driving your car has been programmed into you. Not all programming is negative. That's just how the subconscious mind works. And new programming creates new, through the process of neuroplasticity, creates new neural nets, new neural pathway. But that said, when and a good example of this, when somebody says something, and be present. It's like what interpretation come to you? What images come to your mind? Um, whatever that it is, and it's subconscious, it's second nature. We don't even think about it. Then we don't even stop to think that the other person may interpret these words and phrases completely differently, that they have different programming than you, but yet we assume that they're going to understand that, your words the way that you understand it. And that's where a lot of miscommunication happens. So what we need to do is learn how to listen with our hearts, not just with our ears, because one person could say the same words to me. One person could say, I love you, and I can get and another person can say the same thing. I can get a completely different reaction from one person than the other, or whatever it is. Whatever that they're saying. You feel the intention behind the word. The communication is really energetic. Is the core of communication. Language is very limiting and very sketchy. So, for whatever reason, these cards are getting me to talk about this, and so that's part of working with the throat chakra. That's part of developing in toning and chanting and all of that stuff, and really understanding this and really taking the time to communicate with people. The deck I'm using is called the Hanson Roberts deck. And I love the images. They really kind of my persona, because they're kind of innocent, they're childlike. When I was in this book, Psychic New York, which is one of my claims to fame, that happened a long time ago, and John Edward was in it. I think George Anderson. It was like they were trying to get the top 60 psychics in New York, and I got included, which was amazing. And some of the names, but the person that reviewed me talked about the Hanson Roberts card, and one of the descriptions was, and then he uses this very child storybook like cards, but not to let the innocence fool you. The messages are really dynamic and blah 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 or whatever. But and also they're small, and I have small hands, so there's two reasons that I like this deck also. So anyhow, that's the Hanson Roberts deck. All right, it's very applicable. Hi, Nikki, welcome. And 9 is my favorite number. Oh, Dave Winfield was 9. Yeah, I like Dave Winfield. Yeah, of course. I mean, I was always a Mets fan, but there's certain Yankees that I really like. Of course, Reggie Jackson. Of course, Mr. October, and anybody that steps, literally or figuratively, steps up to the plate and is able to be at their best when they're under pressure has my respect, basically, because I know how hard that is to do. All right, so what else is it saying? It's okay to move forward. If one or two of you are moving out of relationships now, moving out of friendship, it's okay to move forward because you're coming into your tribe. You're coming more into your group. It feels like with this community, there's a lot of energetic movement now, really trying to find our footing, really being aware that the earth is changing, society's changing. Some people are waking up, some people are going in the wrong direction, or the other direction. I shouldn't make a judgment, the other direction with it. And it's really about us really trying to find our footing. That's why community is really important. And that's why I'm so thrilled that this community keeps growing and growing. And there's always exceptions to every rule, obviously, but I'm just so grateful the spirit of the quality of individuals that come in and that are part of this. It's just quite amazing. I want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you. So let's move on. I mean, oh, I have some other cards, some support cards also here we pulled. So these are the other cards. So it's the Six of Pentacles reversed, the Magician, the Empress reverse, and the Six of Cups. And a lot of, this has been a theme, and I'll laugh if it turned out to be for me in the end, about romance, about meeting a soulmate, about somebody coming in to your life, about the other person being resistant at first, but then they start to recognize you. Like I've been getting these kind of messages a lot, and I'm like, is this going to be for me? Well, in the next few months, we will let you know if it is. But that said, I wouldn't be surprised, because I'm at this place in my life where I'm so happy being single, and I tell my friends that are a little concerned about, it's been years since I've had a girlfriend. I'm not even going to count it in my mind, but I'm just so happy with it. I just tell people, it's going to have to be like my life partner, the one, for me to give up the single life. I mean, people, you just don't understand. I'm never bored. When I do get sad, upset, or depressed, angry, all those emotions, I clear them quickly now. And I look forward every day. I get up every day just happy to be alive, happy with my life. It's perfect. I have no desire to change it. I just want to keep growing and keep enhancing what I have. And the Spirit's talking to me. He said, yes, you do, Adam. And part of that enhancement is that right partner, that right person being in your life. Whatever. Maybe it is going to be for me. Well, we'll let you guys know if it happens. But anyway, what else? Yeah, the Magician card. As I'm looking at the Magician card, I'm hearing who's saying you can go your own way. I mean, I know it's Fleetwood Mac. I think Lindsey Buckingham's saying that one. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Basically, be your individual, be yourself. Sometimes it takes courage just to be you and not conform to what's going on around you. Be strong in your own frame. Be strong in your power. Grounded in the root, ground in the heart, and you can even ground in the crown chakra also. So that there, and I like the Six of Wands. Again, we're talking about innocence, childlike, a lot of nostalgia. A lot of us are going to be getting memories, maybe past life memories. Write them down. Write things down. Right now, we're kind of still in this energetic lull. A lot of planets are stationing or slow. Some are getting ready to change signs. Outer planets are changing signs. Everything's changing. Outer planets, when they change signs, it's generational. So we're about to come into a new generation. We're on the cusp of that now. The Aquarian age, maybe that's part of it, and stuff like that. So anyhow, so that's basically that. I do have my Native American deck, so this can either be a new message or augment the one that we got. Union, union. Of course, this would be the Two of Gourds, which is the Two of Cups, union. All right, maybe a few of us are about to have a union. All right, very good. But how about an internal union? How about like connecting, unifying, what's the right word? Integrating the male and the female within, the yin and the yang, integrating the part of us that's human that may be scared and frightened because tomorrow we don't even know, what's going to happen in this world. Marrying that with a part of us that's eternal, that knows that the one that created us is going to take care of us always. And we're, no matter what happens out there, we're always going to be okay in here. So it can be an internal union. It can be a union in terms of like community and finding new people to relate to connect to, and stuff like that. And I keep seeing the teepees in my mind too. So I feel like some of us are really getting more interested in Native American spirituality. They had a lot of the answers, and unfortunately, they have a lot of ancestral pain also. So a lot of the Native Americans are in deep healing and deep grief also. But they're the carriers of this ancient earth wisdom. And as we start to remember and we start to recognize and embrace these philosophies and join, with the people and join with our Native American guides or whatever, things are going to make more sense. Everything is connected in the earth. Energy runs through everything: chi, prana, the flow, the force, whatever you want to call it. And when you're out into nature and you open your heart, you can feel the energy flows. And that's when the magic begins, because once you start to feel the flows, and it takes, you have to shift in order to do that. For me, it was martial arts and Tai Chi. And once I started to cultivate Chi and the movements just happened through me, not that I was doing them, everything changed in my life. I started to recognize what the flow is. That's right around when Star Wars was coming out. Imagine that. That was overlap. That's how old I am. That's how long ago I had my awakening. So anyway, union with self, union with heart and mind, right? Heart brain coherence. Not a live stream's going to go by on the Medium channel where I don't bring that up at least once. Marry the heart and the brain, because they're really one organ. They're just two physical organs, but they're really one. We even have a form of brain cells in our hearts. And when we activate the heart, we activate the brain. When we activate the heart in compassion, love, gratitude, the heart becomes coherent, because that's how hearts are supposed to vibrate. That's the natural frequency of the heart. So when that happens, because the heart's actually stronger than the brain locks in and the brain becomes coherent. Then our thoughts get clearer. Then our connection to spirit gets clearer, because when the heart and the brain unify and form this union, then we form a union with spirit and the divine. So that's the message that our Native American guides want to give us today. Moving right along. Oh, I got where's Amy? She's not in. Another shout out for elevated intuition, spirituality, and tarot, because Amy got me these beautiful. How many times can we say beautiful this morning? Sacred geometry deck. And sound vibration is the audible equivalent to sacred geometry, by the way. When you're using the right frequencies. So it's all connected. It's all the same energy expressed in different ways. So anyhow, moving right along. Very good. Authority. I got this in my own personal reading the other day also. So let me bring this closer without reflection from my window. The idea is meditate on the sacred geometry. Authority is important, understanding the nature of authority, but having authority in our own lives. And what do they say about this? The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. And that's it, when it comes, and that's pretty much where we're moving towards, maybe not tomorrow, but as humanity continues to evolve, like the true meaning of authority, it's with compassion, with love, not power over others, but power to others. That's true authority. So anyway, so you can meditate on that. Some of us need to have that kind of energy, that sense of authority of myself and my world or whatever. Authority is not control. Also, that's a different frequency. So put that out there. All right. So hopefully you got that snapshot. If not, you can go back to this. We have I went back to the medicine cards for our animal totem message for the day. Well, thank you. Welcome. So this has been a good session, and anybody else that's new that wants to say hi, please come on in, and and for the people that just came in, when we're done, this will upload as a video, and welcome to watch the whole session. And here we go with the ant. Ants are very community-minded animals, right? What they do. There's also the hive mind. That's part of the meaning of that. I think in the medicine cards there's a different meaning though, and I don't remember It's also key 32, so that's a 5. 5 is Mercury energy, change, movement. Here we go. Patience. Okay, that's the meaning in the card here is patience. Um, an ant can carry leaf over hundreds of miles just to get it back to the anthill. Ants in Africa will strip a forest bare when food is scarce, if it takes them a year. Add medicine to the strategy of patience. This makes a lot of sense. Um, ant is a builder like beavers, is aggressive like badger, has stamina like elk, and scrutiny like mouse, and giveaway like turkey. And I did some meditation work and working with inner earth beings and stuff like that. And they were actually showing me, that there's like intelligent ants, or it may be interdimensional beings that are large but intelligent within the earth. And, again, a lot of the earth and everything, we vibrate on multiple dimensions, multiple frequencies. So there's other realities that overlap this physical reality. Quantum physics is starting to validate that scientifically also. Oh, Lisa, good. You say you're talking about the sacred geometry deck, probably. So we need patience. Again, don't things don't happen overnight in the physical world. Energetically, a single thought or emotion moves mountains, but the physical world is dense. So when we change our vibration and frequency, because we're not separate from anything, it changes on a subatomic level the frequencies of each atom. That's the basis of quantum physics, is understanding what's happening inside of an atom and how that microcosm affects the macrocosm. And the more they discover that, the more they're going to find those relationships. The only difference is really time. What happens in an atom in like a millisecond happens in the universe over trillions of years, but it's the same thing. It's the same function. It's the same energy, just a different timing element. So point being is that once we change our vibration, we've already changed physical reality on a quantum level. But because the physical world is very, very dense, it can take months or even years for that change to happen in the physical. Be patient. That's our message for the week. And let's finish up by doing our angel message. Okay. All right. So let me just clear my mind. And all right. This is the card. Okay. Fiona. She's beautiful. I love the color. Turquoise, blue, higher mind, higher energy. This is Doreen Virtue's messages from the angel card, which I don't know if she successfully pulled all of her cards off the shelves yet or not, but these may not be available for too much longer. I'm not going to say why, but you guys can. Some of you know, others can find out. But in any event, the message here is, now that you've asked the angels for help, be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help, and as the ant is saying, be patient. And also, because ants, like I said, meanings of animals, you observe their behavior. Ants function in a very complex community, so that's a part of it also. We each have our part in it. We each have our job, so to speak. We each have our own individual talents, and that are unique to us, that we bring to the whole, basically. And other people have different talents, and they have different jobs or whatever. So once we're community minded that way, then we function well. And in this time, Mars has been in Gemini about 5 months, and it's got 2 more months in Gemini. It just came out of retrograde. A lot of that Gemini, a lot of that energy is duality, and nothing wrong with duality. There would not be a physical universe without it. But we have to find that unity within the duality. That's the yin yang symbol, or Taoism, as it were, which aligns with a video I just released, the Tao of Money, or the Tao of Wealth, I think it was called. If anybody wants to check that one out. So, anyways, that's basically what I'm seeing is the underlying message here, and I have a feeling my blood sugar's starting to crash. All right, I'm still gonna wait to eat. Maybe I'll have an orange to hold me over. All right. So, anyways, anything else quickly? Any closing? Yeah, they're just emphasizing that community part, getting back to that point. Yeah, they were programmed to instead of working together in community, to judging and measuring rather than integrating. So it's very easy to be like, well, that person has more talent than me, so they must be better, or well, I can do this, so I'm better than you, or whatever. And that's not the way it is. We all have our gifts, we all have our challenges, and we all connect with that in community, and we contribute to the whole, and we're part of a world community, so we're contributing to collective consciousness, everything that we do, think, and act upon. And then this world community is connected to a universal community and an interdimensional community that we're all a part of. So that's what I got for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Oh God, it's already afternoon, so we've already been an hour. I think we're good. So I love you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Namaste.